Good night, good night, good night. So, hmm, how are you? Having some coffee with some coconut milk, cold coffee. Um, and yeah, we're gonna have a nice time. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a nice time. But we're also gonna talk about some deep and heavy stuff. So, here we go. I'm gonna be up late. That's why I'm having coffee. I have my little accoutrement. I have an assortment of weed to choose from and some cool stuff. Blue lighter for signifying coolness, I guess. I have 2 candles lit. I'm gonna bring in a third soon. Yeah. And this blue lighter signifies, what does it signify? Signifies water and waves and energy and vibrations. Because some of the wavelengths are blue light, aren't they? Signify sky, high. But people use it to signify sadness because the sky can cry sometimes. The sky cries. And in the thing I'm going to read to you, I say that water is the lifeblood of the planet. Mother Nature, her blood is the water. She bleeds for us. She gives us water. And it is a placenta-like blood because it nurtures life. It births us every day, over and over, transforming our cells and keeping us put together and helping to build us and renew us, rebirth through this life-giving blood. Ooh, I just burnt myself a little bit. What does that signify? So this book, it's a journal. It's quite personal. It is taken from a time last year between November and December where I was completing my project um, and culminating the 4 to 5 years of research and self-inquiry and um, exercises that I went through to try to understand fascism and mental health and oppression and discrimination and life, the universe, and everything. So I'm going to read you some of it. I'm going to read it again, actually. I read it before, but I'm going to read it again. I'm going to see what the commentary is the second time. National HIV STI Program. That's where this book comes from. Jamaica is a relatively small place. People suffer here. People suffer from ill health at an irregular rate. It's very I don't want to say unnatural because we are of nature, but it is very unsettling. Yes, very unsettling. The number of people who suffer here. And it doesn't have to be this way. So tonight we're going to talk about how to reduce suffering, how to get people to feel happy. Confirmed suspicions and unconfirmed. This is page 1. Yeah, we're doing it again to make sure we've got everything covered. Confirmed suspicions and unconfirmed. Hitler was born on 4/20, 1889. People who say 4/20 don't know who they are endorsing most of the time, ? Or do they? Is it a thing where people say 4/20, some of them secretly acknowledging that Hitler, like Christ, was raised with weed? And I say this as an unconfirmed suspicion because I think that a lot of people reach enlightenment of that level with the aid of psychedelics. People reach enlightenment of that level with the aid of psychedelics. And my name's Alea, Princess Leia, but also Alia of the Knife from Dune. She is a princess as well. And she calls in the end of oppression for her people, her adopted people. Well, actually, it's her people because she was born into it. And I might not agree with the methods. I definitely don't. I don't think violence answers anything. But there is a reason for that anger. There is a reason for that anger. That anger comes from somewhere. It stems from something. Red lighter, signifying appetite. I redirect that to my food and make sure that I concentrate on what I put in my body, in my appetite, what I feed it. But it also relates to sexual appetite. Red, sexual appetite. So I say Hitler, like Christ, was raised with weed. That's what I said. That's a suspicion I have. He took the teachings about Indian swastikas and, flow of life or whatever swastikas mean. We can look up that. thought it needed order, so took the flow of the Indian swastika and made it into straight lines. Because people don't like the chaos of nature, so they want to control it. Mass psychosis through weed piled with shame and guilt. That's what I said the Holocaust could have been, because you have probably a lot of people who smoke. They have to hide it. And then there's this air of hatred in the air that causes the vibration to be really low, and unsettling for the body, because it's just like so exaggerated under the crushing powers of imperialism and industrialism and all these things that have been haunting us for millennia, since people decided that civilization was superior to barbarism, meaning things that actually cycle back into nature well. Desertification of Africa did not start right away. That happened because of overcultivation of the land and no time to recover, because people were trying to uh, basically manipulate how people go about tending to their own environment. So these things are connected. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but we'll get back to it. I wrote down germ many, because germ is in the name. And during my psychosis, which is one way to call it a psychosis because it's filled with trauma, but it was also a psychedelic experience. So during my psychedelic experience, I thought, oh, Nazis must, or hateful people must flock to Germany because they think the word germ in it is funny. They think it's a way to go about nixing people. That hurt my chest, that honk. That honk just hurt my chest. They go about thinking of ways to get rid of people, and are attracted to to the name germ once they realize what it means in English. It, maybe that's why Hitler came there. He was just like, oh, that sounds like I want to be a germ to humanity. I don't like humanity. But yeah, then I went on and said germ maker, Jamaica. We can also be made fun of in that way. Oh, my candles are burning down really fast. And Hitler is said to have committed suicide, and I put, oh, please. I don't think he committed suicide. I think he got away. Like so many Nazis got away. But I don't think it like seriously, but I think it's a very, very likely possibility, just as much as that he did kill himself. I think it's quite likely that he didn't do that. Okay, so the next page, I thought about what can we do in Jamaica to allow direct democracy. That was something I was thinking about. And then funniness happened. Funny things happened. United People's Party, UPP, 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 UP. I didn't know that, but that's line number one. You down with UPP? That's what I put on the second line. You down with UPP? So I mean, it's funny and it's musical, like I said in the previous live stream. So it makes it less bad. So that's how the 2 is playing there, because I have a thing with numbers: 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to pull me back out of the undertow, and 4 means fight. And then you have angel numbers that I play around with, and also like 6 is our choice. And also if you get double 6, which is 12, you get to start first in dominoes. So I think about that as well now, because I used to see 12 and I was just like, okay, what does 12 signify to me in this system that I'm creating? And 12 didn't have a meaning as yet. 12 didn't have a meaning as yet. But then I thought about it after playing dominoes with some guys. Yeah, double 6, 12. You get to start first, which means you're closer to getting your hand empty. Um, oops, maybe that's not a good thing. But in dominoes, it's a win. A party that creates think tanks for, and I don't know what this word is that I wrote, for departments, presents cliff notes to public, and people vote on issue directly. Human right, not up for vote. So that's how the direct democracy would work for me, where you have just think tanks and bureaucracy to facilitate the public's response to the think tanks' information and how they want to act on it. Collective responsibility. I talk about it on Lunar Punk Lounge. So UPP also helps coordinate the way work and votes carried out. Mm, the name needs work. LOL. That's what I wrote finally. So at least I acknowledged it. I was aware. But yeah, collective responsibility as a means of coordinating. I think if I want these candles to last, I have to blow out one and then light it back again. It's not going out though, but it's going to come back. So don't be afraid, little candle. Yeah, now it's out. We'll be right back with you, candle. Mm. And then my mother wrote some stuff down about what she wants to do for her project in here. So it's all very general. And then we did a little thinking session. Yeah. And we thought about, I said I wanted to do a plastic free Christmas, trees made from bamboo, DIY instructions and examples. So the idea of the bamboo Christmas tree is really fucking cool. And I had a whole night of like thinking, okay, what if I was like in my head, because this is where I was. Okay, let's just talk about it. In my head, everything happened. So it's either that it really happened, it's either that it's orchestrated, it's either that um, I ran a simulation in my brain based on the information I had fed myself. Um, whichever one, I'm suspending my disbelief at the moment because all of them have magical outcomes, so I don't quite mind, except if I'm being exploited, which I don't like. Um, so at one point in my head, I was talking to people, and I said, I felt telepathic. I was talking to people who I knew, and even people that I didn't know that were just passing by in their cars. I just imagined talking to them. And um, we spoke at one point. I'm just going to say that we spoke. Let's just put it that way. We spoke at one point about how could we make bamboo Christmas trees match up to the typical Christmas trees we're used to? Because we don't want to cut down any trees, do we? And we don't need plastic trees either. So bamboo Christmas tree, how would that look? How could we make it fun? And there were so many ideas that came up in that ideation session that happened in my head with the people around me. And like I said, at this point, I just want to talk about it in a suspension of disbelief. I want it to be a mystery. Am I psychic? Am I responding to echolocative signals? Am I delusional? I don't feel delusional. Am I running a simulation in my head and allowing my mind to accept all information as valid, or most information as valid, and just allowing a good story to unfold despite? That's how I approach my mental health and how I see it whenever it goes extreme. So with the plastic-free Christmas and the bamboo Christmas tree, how the bamboo Christmas tree would be is that you have a thick piece of bamboo in the middle standing up, and then you drill holes through it, 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever can fit on it, and you stick it into something that can support it, like a vase, a large vase, or I don't know, something that makes it stable. And you can catch it in a corner to keep it standing up. And basically, you drill holes through the centerpiece, and you push smaller, narrower pieces of bamboo through it to create a Christmas tree shape. So you cut the first top one a little bit less wide, and then it gets wider and wider as you go down. And then to decorate it, you can continue drilling smaller holes. You can carve it. You can again, like, put in holes and then put in like glass bottles into the space of the bamboo to create different display, like different colors and light shining through it. If you put the holes on both sides, and the light can shine through it. So if you put it in front of a window, light shines through it, and then the glass and the holes create different colors. So it'd be like, you can make it like a rainbow thing. And you know I love rainbows because I went to the rainbow gathering and I like that. And I'm also a rainbow girl because I'm gay. And yeah, it's really cool. You can do so much. You can I forget all the things that I had in the ideation session with all the people in my head. But it was a really tender moment because it felt like there was despair going on around me, and we kind of were just like talking through our feelings of like, this might seem tough, but look at all the new cool stuff we can do. Look at all the new cool stuff we can do. Let's just think about it a little bit. Okay, so there was some stuff from my mother's organization that we did an ideation session about. It was really nice. And then at one point, I don't remember when, but at one point, I wrote on some Post-it notes that I saw the person who I am deeply moved by, deeply transfixed by, deeply deeply confounded by, because the emotion is so strong. It confounds me. Like, I literally get scared of it, and I find reasons to think this isn't safe. Like, this kind of attraction is not safe. I I've never felt anything like this before, and I've I can't think of anybody else who is interesting in that way. Like, nobody. So basically, I saw that person at my gate. Their silhouette. And when I saw them, I was so ecstatic, but I couldn't even move because I was so ecstatic. And so I stood on my balcony and I just celebrated. I just jumped up and down. I kept my eyes staring straight where I had seen him, around the corner of the fence. It wasn't a clear view. And I was even afraid to look too closely because I didn't want to lose him. And I said on the post-it, because I stayed out celebrating that he was there and he showed up for me for 3 hours straight. I celebrated because it was an epic night. It was a wonderful night. It was a beautiful night. I had achieved everything I had ever wanted to achieve. I was certain. I was certain that I achieved everything I wanted to achieve independently, with help, of course, but independently. And it felt really, really, really good. And just having him there was a cherry on top. So I wrote down, I saw him and his hair. I heard him sneeze. The crickets chirp if you tune them with signals like copycat birds do. And this means if you play radio signals that they don't like, the crickets chirp really ugly. But if you play nice signals that they like, nice wavelengths that they like, they chirp really, it's not as piercing. Like, they literally respond because they're kind of like songbirds, I guess, or that's what I'm observing. I put on the radio and it was just like putting out, I was on a station that doesn't exist. Um, it was like just giving out static, and then the crickets started piercing my ears. They didn't like it. And I think that a lot of animals don't like the signals that we put out. A lot of animals don't like the radio signals. They have to be tuned to a certain kind of frequency that that gels with everything that's going around. And I even wonder if people have chosen um, radio frequencies that don't make people too um, uh, happy and at ease, because they want them to feel harried and like they must work to earn money. That is the negative conspiracy theory that I'm formulating around that. And it might not be the case for everyone, but maybe someone out there knows that this frequency that we're on for certain radio stations and certain radio towers is actually bad for nature, and they think that it's okay to do that because it means that people are in a stress position and they're going to work for you. They didn't like radio waves. It was a disharmonic chirping. The mosquitoes did not bite me when they thought I was a friend, because I wasn't clapping after them. I was sitting very still, and the mosquitoes would just hover near me. They didn't bite me. And at one point, I was so in tune with my surroundings, even if there was unrest, that the mosquitoes were just hovering around me and they didn't touch me at all. I was perfectly still and they didn't touch me at all, which tells you that one of the biggest predators to humanity will respect you if you pose no threat, if you simply um, acknowledge them as something that you need a slight distance from, but you're not going to be hurting anything. The fly was celebrating and dancing on me. There was a fly that landed on me, and I saw its movement, and it was a good day after my celebration, my huge celebration. And the fly that landed on me, it was like a little, it was like a little, one of those little soft flies, little soft bugs, and they have the yellow in their butt. They have like this yellow fluid in their butt. And at one point, I had seen like a few of them, and I started copying after them and killing them. And then I got like a swarm coming at me, and I killed so many. I was just like, I was so angry. I was like, oh, why are you all flying at me? Kill. And then when they started to fly around me again, just a few of them at a time, I said, maybe I shouldn't just kill things just for the sake of killing them. They belong here as well. And then one of them settled on me, and it was doing a little jig. It was doing a little jig. Like, you learned that we mean you no harm. You learned that when you defend us and you protect us and you respect that, just because we're not cute butterflies, doesn't mean that you should kill us. So the fly was celebrating and dancing on me. I understood that Juneplum had been understanding the undertone of everything, because I named her Juneplum, and some people would not view Dune as a heroic story. Some people would view Dune as a terrorist story because it talks about holy war, and Muslims are implied, and Islam is implied in the storytelling uh, mythology. And if you're a Muslim, you are automatically deemed irrational in your anger about the world. When Muslims who live in Muslim countries that tend to have oil, like Dune implies, Iraq. So having people who are constantly being taken advantage of, and having the earth damaged around them, and having wars waged upon them for these resources. These people, they are totally ill at ease and under stress, in a stress position. And their religion says that you are allowed to defend yourself with war. That's what their religion says. You're allowed to defend yourself with war. Christians do it too. Every religion does it, because people will make exceptions for different um, uh, resistances to the whole idea that religion is supposed to lead to harmony. So yeah, I wrote, we made it. It's cooler when he is near. Yeah, because whenever I think of him, and I know it's stupid that I keep on talking about this, but that's the cute part of this show. I'm just going to talk about my heart. Um, when he's near, I think of cool breeze, and I feel a cool breeze right now because I'm talking about him, and I feel a cool breeze. And I think it could be that we have, you know, here's another conspiracy. We have cloud seeding and weather manipulation that is reading um, the how would I even describe this? That is reading whatever it is that makes me feel like I'm psychic, which I said could be a scientific explanation, could be a sound wave explanation, could be sound wave is also scientific, could be mystical and magical, but mystic sounds like mistake. That word mystic sounds a little bit like the word mistake, so I feel like maybe that's not the answer. So yeah, I feel like he's near me. This is the simulation that I had run in my head, and I don't know how it settles. Is it real? Is it not real? Because it feels like he's near me. I'm thinking about him again, and see there, wind, chill. And then I wrote in big letters, rain. And it's because I watched a video that said, "Make it rain, girl, make it rain" by Yeji. And she said, "Mother Russia in my cup, make it rain, girl, make it rain." And I just thought, well, we need rain actually. We need rain because we live on rainwater at my house. And I was like, yeah, we need rain. So I'm going to make it rain. And I thought, I want rain. And then I saw him. And then it started to rain like, whoa. It started to rain like, whoa. And so I think we made it rain. Whatever that experience was where I saw him, we made it rain. And then I wrote on a pink post-it that I wrote his name, loves Alea. And I felt certain of it because he showed up for me. And I started to lose heart eventually, and I tore up that note because I didn't see him again. And I tore up that note. But I want it back, so I'm hoping that it's still in the scrap bin and I can paste it together. Okay. My dog just scared me. Okay, so next page. Grievances and appreciation. Because a therapist I was going to had a sign up in his office saying, leave your what? Carve your blessings in stone and your worries in sand. Well, Arrakis is the land of sand. So, oh yeah. Here are my worries. It's going in the sand. I'm not sure you want that. They're sandworms. Okay. In no particular order, the doctor want me off and don't help me at Ward 21 and try inject me 2 times from red, black, and white bag. Had my mother talking, I should have insisted she come with me. Knocked and ran, and he had the audacity to act like I was in the wrong. Say me mad. What? No, say me no fi knock up him door. No one let me call for help. I asked people for help. So what happened here is I was in therapy And I kept on insisting that I want to take my medication for what you call bipolar and manic depression, and what I call a set of circumstances that leave my brain um, that is wired a certain way unsettled, because I don't think that bipolar is necessarily maladjusted if you have good systems around you and you don't have noise around you affecting you with the radio signals and the honking and the stressors of city life and life in urban centers and um, even in countryside. If you don't have stressors from, yeah, just capitalism and imperialism and oppression and discrimination, I feel like your mental health is not jeopardized. But yeah, I prefer to take my medication orally. Yes, oral. And um, I like to swallow my pills myself, because then I have the control. I say yes, I say no, and I have the right. I have the right to say yes. I have the right to say no. And um, he wanted to inject me. He asked me one time. I said no. I said I prefer not to get injections. He tried it one time. He brought a red, black, and white bag, and he tried it one time. And I was just like, yeah, that's some fascist colors. I'm real sensitive to that. And that injection bag looks like some fascio shit, so I don't fucking want it. And yeah, obsessed with fascists maybe, but I don't think I need that medication in me injected, because then I have no control over it. I don't know what it does. I don't know where it comes from. I don't want it in my body. I don't know what they put in it, because all of these medications have so many side effects that they're literally giving you a cure for one thing to give you the disease from several other things. What the fuck? So no, baby, I'm not doing that. And yeah, so he tried to inject me. And the thing is that before this, I thought, oh, I actually want a situation where I can fuck my therapist. That would be hot. Somebody who knows me inside out, somebody who helps me manage my mental health with weed that's prescribed for me to maintain my mood that way instead of through medication. And they're my weed therapist, and they know me inside and out. And yeah, they also know me inside and out in the other way. Hot. Yeah, I wanted that. And then I found this dude. Well, I didn't find this dude. My mom found this dude to be my therapist. Um, and he um, he as soon as I saw him, I said to myself, I can fuck my therapist. He looks like he would fuck me. Well, he did fuck me. Just not the way that I think maybe he wanted to. um, yeah. And anyway, so I wrote down that as a grievance. I hated him for that. He made me feel so alarmed, and I went outside to try to call the police on him for trying to inject me against my will, um, and for making me feel unsafe. And nobody would let me use their phone to call, and I didn't have a phone to call because I was off my devices, because I felt my devices were being monitored some way, somehow, just because every time I would go out, I would see police. Every time I would go out, I would see police. Are people experiencing this? Are the people experiencing this where when they go out, they just see police patrolling because they're trying to control the unrest that they know is going to happen because of how the system is killing the planet and killing us and making us go extinct? And they are on the side of the people in charge who are keeping things this way? The woman at A&E put her glasses with under her nose over her mouth. So she had her glasses. Yeah, let's demonstrate. She was wearing a mask and she had on her glasses on her face. So typically, you have your glasses on your face. You don't want it on your eyes. You need to see. Where do you put it? Up here on your forehead, down on the bridge of your nose so you can look over it. You don't put your glasses here above your nose and have the middle part look like a little Hitler mustache. But that's just me. So I was just like, okay, great. So we're dealing with this again. Perfect. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. I left Germany and came to Jamaica and had to deal with the same shit. And not that I said that Jamaica just wouldn't have this kind of shit to be dealt with, but it was just like, oh, cool. So from one situation to another, perfect. I'm really happy. Thank you. So yeah, she put her glasses under her nose, and it looked like a little Hitler mustache. And I was just like, bitch, I don't really want that in my life right now. I'm already in a hospital, repeating a cycle, by the way, because in my project last time, I was sent to the hospital, and I put a picture up on it, and it's like, did the world conspire to put me back in that position because they're trying to make sure the loop is complete? That is a conspiracy that I have. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. And anyway, so I say, and it upset me. I simply say, I would like my medicine from someone else because I feel unwell about our introduction. She refuses and gets me, well, let's say the story properly. After that, another nurse came after I took from her and whatever. And a child that was admitted to the emergency section said he was complaining that his water smelled like urine. And I took it to heart. I was just like, well, maybe there's urine in that water. I don't know what they're doing in here. Maybe there's urine in that water because that bitch came over with a Hitler mustache. So maybe there's urine in that water because I don't know what they fucking want with you. So I took that to heart. I was just like, okay, let's keep a nose out for pee smells. And guess what? At the ward that I was sent to after I had my altercation with this woman with the Hitler mustache glasses who didn't like me, and I'll tell you why she didn't like me soon. I went to the bathroom next to my room, and the water in the pipe smelled like urine. It would smell like urine. And yes, you can have olfactory hallucinations. You can hallucinate smells. But it's enough that there was one sink that smelled like pee, and there was another sink that didn't smell like pee. That's all I'm saying. And anyway, so I asked that I wanted someone else to give me medicine. And when that person came to that person, I didn't get somebody else to give me medicine. I got the medicine from her. She insisted. And the other person who came over to me, she came over and asked me my name. I said, because I was going to respond civilly, but then the woman turned up again, and I hated her for making me take that medication when I had asked for a very simple request. And she said, the nurse who was talking to me said, "What is your name?" And I said, "Alea, Alia, sometimes you, sometimes Dune." Because Dune is about getting fascists off your case. Okay, next one. Oh, I said, she refused and get me locked up in a Ward 21. That sound like something? So just for a comment, and refusing medicine from the person, not refusing the medicine itself, but saying, I don't want the medicine from you. And it got me locked up on a mental health ward. I came there wanting to detox from cigarettes. I came in there wanting to detox from cigarettes. I was told about a drug program to detox from cigarettes by that therapist who wanted to inject me twice. With the red, black, and white bag. I said, as soon as the Indian doctor come talk to the Rasta doctor, him switch up. She either turn him head or him keep cover. She wear black, red, and white, but she was also pretty. The last time I was in a mental health ward, the first time, I said that when I was being taken in and they pulled down my jumper and injected me on my bottom and then allowed me to cover myself back up, and there were men present. That's what happened. They held me and a man took my clothes down and injected me. So maybe that's why I don't like to be injected, because I have a strained relationship with men. I don't always feel safe with men. In fact, I probably never feel safe with men. Well, that's a lie. Maybe I say I never feel fully safe with men. But yeah, here I was back on a mental health ward. But the first time I went there, when they injected me and they pulled my clothes down and they held me and all that thing, I said, I'm going to make your type of psychiatric work obsolete. Because I don't think how they handle mental health works. It doesn't work. They don't acknowledge our humanity. Not necessarily. They don't see us as functional beings who have been put in dysfunctional situations. They try to subdue us instead of allowing us to step into our power. I said in the next thing, the next grievance, the Dove soap in Malaya's bathroom have Aaron Green on it. So Malaya, that was somebody in the ward. That was her name, Malaya. And someone I know has a name similar to the soap that was on the bathroom. After I used that soap, I had a rash. The child said what he had to drink at the hospital smelled like urine, and after that I had no trust of the drinks because it felt true. How well treated is the sewage at our water production institutions? Yeah. How well treated is the sewage at our water production institutions? So here you see that you get clear again. Okay, so you have this, a child says something, maybe you're not supposed to take it seriously, but you do. And then you get super paranoid about the water all the time, and you don't want to drink the water because you think, oh, there's pee in it. It sounds silly, it sounds stupid, it sounds dumb. But then you come out of it, and then you get lucid and you say, okay, even if that is not true, what is the kernel of truth in that? And the kernel of truth is that Jamaica is a poor country. How well treated is our water? How well treated is our water? Is our water really safe in terms of the level of sewage that gets back into the system? How well are we doing with that? I don't know. We could be super on top of it. It's not, it wouldn't be surprising. It wouldn't be surprising at all. We could be super on top of it. But we could also have issues. I'm not sure. So that is the kernel of truth that I want to investigate. I saw a little shadow behind me. Oof. Okay. Okay, this one is a good one. It's a little asterisk. When I felt like vomiting things, so like pills, I was given pills and medication and I vomited it up because I didn't trust it. When I felt like vomiting things, the Rasta didn't question or scorn. He allowed me to soil the area around him for my safety. I appreciate that a lot. So there's this old Rasta man, and he allowed me to just vomit up my pills in the bed, in between our beds. Oh, and I should tell you, I was surrounded by men on the emergency room. There was one man, one man, one man. They kind of locked me in. Anyway, so that was another feeling of like not feeling safe, not feeling safe. Um, but I got through it, and everybody was fine. But I was just like, all the beds were locked in. Oh my gosh, I already went through all my SIDS. Okay. On the way to Ward 21, there was a black man with a Hitler mustache. There were other Hitlerian motifs. hmm The guy beside me shit himself. Ugh. Didn't think it was the most disgusting thing at first. But yeah, I was like laying next to somebody who shit himself and was like calling the nurse, and he's like, I pooped myself, and they were peeing all the time. So I kept on thinking, oh my gosh, this pee is gonna go back into the water or into the food. A guy that looks like this guy Tim. That and oh, I should clarify, because in the previous video I said this person's name. Tim is this person that I met in Jamaica. At the airport, I was in the line and I was immediately attracted to him, or almost immediately attracted to him. And then on the plane, I got like really hot and bothered, and I spoke about him. And yeah, so let's see. A guy that looks like Tim showed up. I felt attracted before I even saw him. Like I started getting horny, and then I looked around and there he was. Yeah, I started getting horny and I looked around and there he was. I was very confused by his presence. He seemed out of it and laughing weirdly. He went to surgery. Someone who looked like him came out. I felt dirty because the attraction. Okay, so I have this association with the extreme attraction I was feeling to say that this is not normal. This kind of attraction is like really weird and next level. It's really not normal. And I was just like, how do I process this? This feels so huge, this attraction, and it like crunches my stomach. Like I will get cramps in my stomach. That's how intense the feeling is. And I had that intense feeling, and then I turned around and I saw him. And the time before that, I saw another guy, who I had intense attraction to. The first time I went to the hospital, I saw him. The second time I went to the hospital, I saw this next guy, but he made me horny, and I felt dirty because, yeah, it was just such a weirdly intense attraction. It was like, how do you feel horny before you even see the person? Like, what is that? What is that? What kind of sixth sense is that? And where did it come from? And I wasn't comfortable with it because the situation felt very strained and weird. And I also had some negative associations. I wrote down, I can't withdraw money anywhere. Ocherius is a city, and I go to that city sometimes. And there, it's very difficult to find a machine that works to give you money. You have to walk around and find different machines or go to your usual spot and hope that it works. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. It makes you feel very irritated. And it makes you feel held hostage because you're like, well, what if I need money very quickly in an emergency situation and I have to be running around trying to find somewhere where I can get my cash? That's not good. We live in a time where hurricanes are intense. We live in a time where earthquakes are happening. I mean, earthquakes always happen. So, but I had 2 earthquake warnings when I came back. Since I came back, 2 or 3 earthquake warnings since I came back. I felt one. And so we need to be able to get our cash and go if we need to. Like, this is not a plaything. This is a fucking serious situation. The earth is unstable at this moment because of us, and we're not necessarily fixing it fast enough because we're not willing to let go of everything that we need to. And we're afraid that if we have to let go of the things that we need to, we won't know what to do with ourselves. I went through a detox situation on my own, as well as within the ward. The ward, I felt it was toxification, actually. I don't think that was a detox situation at all. I got toxed. I got toxed. It wasn't detox. But yeah, at my home, I went through a detox as well from gasoline products. So anything that would have gas involved. So things that you cook, things that I didn't touch any plastic. I didn't wear any synthetic fabrics. I ate clean. I drank rainwater, and I felt so in tune with the earth. I felt so in tune with the earth. And at one point, I sat outside just discussing with the people in my head, everybody who's in the neighborhood, and who's passing through, and have a link up to the connection, the psychic connection. Everybody that was passing through, I spoke all night until dawn. I promised myself I would stay up until dawn. And I called it a vigil. And I had my cup. I held it out for rainwater. And I drank the rain. And I spoke the whole night about all the things related to climate that are bad. I heard a noise just now that was not pleasant. Somebody sounded like they were screaming. Somebody sounded like they were screaming. I wonder if you heard that. Okay. I forget what I was talking about because of that screaming sound. Yeah. Situation can be very unsettling around here. I don't know what's going on. This is not an easy place to live. You never know what's going to happen. Most times things are good, but sometimes things get scary. So what else does it say? I can't withdraw money anywhere. My grandmother's banking is messed up, or I said shig up. The airport had stuff mess up the customs machine and charge money robbing people soon after I came home and got on the Wi-Fi. So yeah, I got on the airport Wi-Fi, and a few days later I saw in the news that the airport customs machine was hacked and they were charging money for people to complete their customs form, when really and truly you don't need to charge money for that. But people were scammed out of that. And I wondered if it was because I connected my Germy phone that felt like it was hacked. Um, if that was the reason why that happened to the airport, because I connected to their Wi-Fi and spread like basically a phone STI. And this book, like I said, is about STIs. I've never really caught a real STI. The most I've had is genital warts, and that was because I was okay. Like, here's the story. That was because I was living with some girls who I had been so embarrassed about an altercation I had with them, because I said that their room smelled, their living space smelled continental, and I meant like Africa, and I meant like, oh yeah, Africans have a smell. And it was a horrible thing to say, but because I felt bad, I actually overreacted and I said, oh, I'm never going to use the shower, because the shower was in their apartment. And I was upstairs. I had a bathroom with a sink, but I didn't have a shower. So I would have to go into their apartments to take a shower. And I said, I'm not taking showers. I'm going to get a basin. I'm going to get an electric kettle. I'm going to warm water from the sink in my electric kettle. And I'm going to bathe from the basin. So I did that. And I was like, fine. I was like, yeah, I've done this in Jamaica. This is fine. Whatever. I don't care. I don't have to deal with them. And I feel like I live by myself. And it was a great situation. I was so fucking happy. I was so fucking happy. Even if things were miserable, I barely had any Wi-Fi signal, like, or phone signal. I didn't have Wi-Fi and I didn't have any phone signal most of the time. I would just rewatch stuff and re-listen to stuff and make music, and it was a wonderful time. And I also met the first guy who made me feel like he actually liked me, like he actually really liked me. First time. So I had that experience, and I I wrote songs about it. I wrote songs about it. Um, and I wrote songs about more than just that. That's the Seeker album. That's Seeker. That's what happened. That's how I wrote Seeker, is because of stuff that he helped conjure. And I think maybe some songs about him, or from the time with him. It's not necessarily about him, but it's just the energy I draw from that person, so it's kind of about them anyway. And I think some of the songs about him are also on Some Kind of Paradise, but I'm not sure. I really am not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I don't think it is. I think Some Kind of Paradise was made while I was in South America. Yeah. Seeker is about him, or about the feelings that he generated. Yeah. And yeah, I lost my train of thought. Okay. So yeah, I said I was trying to figure out if my phone had caused the Wi-Fi, well, had if my phone had caused the issue. If my phone had caused the issue. Who are the scammers behind it? And I said At one point during my first cycle of this series of events, I said that the youth were my team. I was talking about Jamaican youth. They're my team. And later on my social media, I said, follow the leader, copy me. So I put myself in that position, sending out messages and being like, yeah, whatever happens, happens. Well, got to be careful because sometimes not so nice things happen. But I feel like if not so nice things had happened, I've already gone to the police to try to see if there are things that I need to be talking about, and they dismissed me. So it seems as though nothing is amiss in that regard. Um, I'm not sure. We'll see. Then I said, is it Germany or both? Depending. Is that what I said? Depending? I'm not sure. And the next one is an asterisk. That's a good one. I feel like I will live in Draper's at the house again soon. There was a house I had. I lived in a house that was like a little palace, actually. This is the second time I've lived in palace-like structures. Like not maybe palace, but little castles, little miniature castles. Um, and actually, no, like I lived in one house that was bigger than the castle in Ghent, actually. So, I mean, slightly bigger, but yeah. Anyway, that place was like beautiful, even if it was just like also a normal Jamaican typical kind of big structure, but it felt like a castle. I had so much roof space, my aura could just expand in that space. And yeah, the energy field that you have around you resonates if you, especially if you're sensitized by smoking and opening up your mind and your third eye and all these, your pineal gland and your receptor nerves, and you're taking in all this information from your surroundings. And yeah, you have to uh, think basically, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do in a situation where I'm suppressed? Because the aura can feel so huge and expansive if you have enough headspace. That's why I like high ceilings, vaulted ceilings, and I think that's why royalty likes vaulted ceilings as well, because they have this big energy field of expectation upon them as well as power out of them. And so they have this energy field that they like to have contained within larger spaces so that it can fit. I have to pee soon, but I'm not going to stop the stream, so I think we'll just have to stream it. Yes, I piss on you. So I took notes for some workshops about um, people. Yeah, some people who are in vulnerable and marginalized populations were in these meetings, and I took notes. And I was still paying attention to the dates and the numbers because, as you said, this is a very synchronous time. And yeah, we had some different dates that were all beautiful and interesting. And then the trans people that we spoke to were placed on 6. And 6 is a difficult number because people think of the devil. But 6 is a question. It's a question. It is, what do you think is necessary for this? And also, it's not, oh no, that was a misspeech. That was just a misfiring. It's more like it's a question of defiance delivered however brutishly, however inappropriately, because that's what we see as evil, is that you have a question and you seek out answers with ruthless methods. The devil went to war against God. The thing is that God, if we're going to say it's a person, instead of having God be an idea that we aspire towards and try to describe in various bumbling ways with our religious texts, I would say that, yeah, it's oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh no. Religious texts, religiosity, God idea. 6, choice. Okay, so you have a yes or a no that you're presented. And then somebody who's all powerful should know how to break any spell that is causing confusion and bring about goodness. So the trans girls were placed on 6. I didn't like that. And it's difficult because, yeah, being trans is a choice. 5 is the transitional number to me. And then you go into 6 where you have a choice. You transition out of a period before. You have your fight, 4, fight. And then 5, you transition out of the fight. And then 6, you have a choice. And then when you make the choice and you make a good choice, you go for the ideal of goodness and use it to inform your decision making. Then you get to 7, heaven. And that's the cycle you have to repeat. And you go through the numbers over and over. That's how I do it. And it often feels like a little boost. I'm not recommending that everybody follows me. I think that everybody should find their own pattern. My numbers are for me and my interpretation. Everyone should find their own pattern. Or if you like mine, just tell me and let's or you don't have to tell me. People don't owe me discussion. But yeah, if you like it, then do your thing. Interpret it, iterate, do your thing. It's gonna be pee time soon. So I know it's choice. I said we put the trans girls on 6. I know it's choice, but a lot of people don't get that. They want you to think it's evil. And this country is very homophobic on the way that we talk about things and how we talk about femininity and feminization of men because people are afraid of losing their pride. But at one point after that I went to the tax the the taxi area in the city, And in the taxi area, the bathrooms, there was mail, and then there was a labelless store, and then I went into a bathroom. When I asked for the bathroom to go into, I got asked into a labelless store right after, and I said, "Oh, this is so simple." And guess what's gonna happen now? We're gonna go to the bathroom. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen. It's happening. It's happening. You're just gonna hear the sound. You're not gonna see me. I piss on you. Yeah, I didn't want to leave no dead air. So, sit here, enjoy atmospheric noise, ASMR. Well, that's a lot of liquid. That's a lot of water. And I don't flush until it's too much toilet paper in the sink, in the bowl. And we're supposed to use water from the rain that we catch outside to flush. I often forget and flush it normally with the rainwater from the catchment, which is not good because it runs out of water very quickly because we're using the rain for everything. So it's a bit of an adjustment period. Okay. Let's do it. All right. And then I said, and the girls deserve more. Yeah. So they were put on 6, and people don't know it's choice, and they think it's evil, and the girls deserve more. They should be put on a nice number. Okay, so many people are confusing or confused. So many people are confusing or confused. The puppy just making that noise over and over, like the world's worst squeak toy. So at one point there was a puppy noise, but it wasn't it wasn't normal. It was like I keep wanting to say unnatural, but that's like not the thing. It's a really abnormal noise, and it was really like freaking me out and like making my aura like zigzag and make my aura just like felt like, you know, when you have all those Mortys on the wall and they're being like poked in Rick and Morty. That's what it felt like. I felt like my pineal gland was just being stimulated and stimulated and stimulated and stimulated over and over and over, and it felt awful. It was painful, and I was just like, "What the fuck is happening here? Why am I being shocked over and over with this noise?" Because either somebody was making a whole bunch of fucking noise out the door to get to me and signal something. That's one conspiracy theory. Or the more rational thing would be to say that this there was an animal, because there later were puppies. There was an animal, and this animal did not have a good time being in this world for some reason, whatever the reason was. Did not have a good time being in this world, and there was nothing I could do to help because I didn't have any money to take it to a vet. Um, I had a theory about low vibrational stuff, and talking about low vibration is really gnarly because it can sound racist as fuck. Because you'll be like, oh, these people. It's not even racist because you're talking about a mindset. You're not talking about a race of people, but um, because it's circumstantial, I don't know. Low vib. Well, I mean, you can say that low vibrational people are people who respond well to low vibrations. People who know who alchemize that to not necessarily to turn it into something good, but to turn it into something more plentiful. So those are the negative ones. Low vibrational, they like just amplify low vibrations, and high vibration people, um, therefore amplify good vibes. So I said that the lady who I live with, who our landlord is, um, her brother, his vo- her brother's voice sounded bad. He sounded like a bad person in his voice. I could hear something negative in his speech pattern and the vibration of his voice. I could actually hear that he was not necessarily the best person. I'm not sure if this was before or after confirm. No, it was after someone told me that he's not necessarily nice. I'm pretty sure. But then I heard it in his voice. I was like, you sound like a bad person and your eyes are all milky like you don't see. There was a spider, the spider. So I was in the toilet, just like you were there with me just now. Um, and in the toilet, I um, saw a spider crawling on the floor, and spiders came to signify um, the uh, impending, like a bad omen for you're getting close to something that endangers you. So spiders, whenever I saw spiders, because I have a song called La Petite Morte, and it's a sexual song, but it's also about trapping a man who has done you wrong, perhaps. Um, and I feel very nervous about that song because I want someone to show up, or some friends to show up, and I called for that. I put it on my YouTube. I put it out into the atmosphere. I said I want my friends to come and help me, and or my lover to come and help me. That's what I put in the thing. And I was so enthused by the concept. Was I confused? I don't know where I left off. I was so enthused by the concept. What does that come from? I'm not sure. I might have to watch this back and see what I said to see if that connected or not, or if that was a confession of some sort. But yeah, so I thought my friends would show up for me, and yeah, I know that my song Spiderweb says that it's a trap, so I wouldn't want to mislead people who are coming to help me into thinking that it's a trap. I'm so careful because, you know, I've been political, I've been an activist, and it's not always safe for activists these days. It's not always safe for activists these days. People are getting attacked for being on the side of green stuff. People are being attacked for the fact that they're seen as trying to dismantle what people have worked hard to build without knowing for sure how to get to the other side of this issue. And there's a community that I suspected of having cannibals in. Yeah, I was thinking like, dude, there's some fucking cannibals in this community. There's cannibals around. And I went to that community where I think the driver is a cannibal. And in that community, there are spider webs all over the phone lines and the electricity lines. Just spider webs, spider webs, spider webs, and big spiders too. Big spider. And so yeah, I saw a spider. First of all, there was a big spider under my chair where I was doing art on the balcony, and it was like a huge spider, but it was kind of pretty. And the spider climbed up on the table at night, and it climbed up onto my shoulder, and it was climbing on me, and I brushed it off, and it landed in my cup, and I flushed it down the toilet. And then after that, I got nervous, like, what if the spider comes back up out of the toilet and, like, poisons my coochie? That would be the fucking weirdest. That would be the fucking worst. I kept on thinking, this spider is gonna come up and poison my fucking coochie. But I wasn't, like, thinking about it too hard. I was just like, no, it's flushed. And I told my mother that I flushed it, and if that wasn't the thing to do, she would have given me warning to be like, yeah, you should be careful. That's flush for that spider is not going to be enough. But yeah, spiders don't swim, so um so so yeah, I then went into the bathroom later on, a few days later, and I saw a spider crawling on the ground. And this, normally I don't fear spiders. I'm not a person who's scared of spiders. But after that experience with a big spider for the first time, I got scared. Because I was just like, that thing could have been poison. I don't know what the thing is. I've never seen a spider that big in Jamaica. And so then I brushed it off into the cup. I flushed it down the toilet. I was afraid of my coochie getting bitten. And after that, I went around And I went to the bathroom and I saw a spider on the ground. And I was just like, oh no, I'm gonna kill that. So I slapped my hand down on the ground and I picked it up, and there was no spider to be seen. It had completely disappeared. And there was this a big expanse of tiles around it, so he couldn't have gotten away so fast. He just couldn't have gotten away that fast. So I was just like, did I hallucinate this spider? Did I hallucinate a spider? And or did I like hallucinate a spider slapping after it and um, missing on purpose? Because I often miss when I try to catch insects because of that experience I had with the mosquitoes. With the mosquitoes, they didn't sting me because I didn't hurt them. And like my mother and my grandmother, they don't clap after insects. I clap after insects, but they don't clap after insects. Um, uh, and but they light destroyers. They light destroyers, which is chemicals. It's not good for the air. But it was rainy season, and a very rainy season, in fact, like incredibly rainy, like almost flood-like rainy. Almost got to that point. Um, and so there were a lot of mosquitoes being spawned, and so I thought, what am I supposed to do? I have to like, are we supposed to light these destroyers and have the poison go in the air? Well, now it's less rainy and there's less mosquitoes, but I still did have to clap after a couple today. I didn't have to, but I did it because I have decided that um, mosquitoes, until they are disarmed, they are not a safe thing to be around, just like chilling all the time. You have to be careful because I do get some bites, and these mosquitoes, they carry things that harm humans, and so I have to be careful. And I just said humans, and I think of Dune again, because humans are framed as something specific in there. And I remember talking to someone who said to me, I told them that they were behaving in a way that was inappropriate. And they said, yeah, but human, right? Human. And I really wonder if they were afraid of me or something. Like, why would they be pleading about human? Because like they're not that skilled in English, but they knew that word to say to me. And I wonder if it's because of my name that they were scared of me and my social media around it. Burp. So yeah, I hallucinated a spider, or the spider was very fast, and I clapped after it. I clapped after it, and it escaped. So death escaped. I didn't trap death, but death didn't trap me. And also, if the spider web is la petite morte in the terms of orgasm, then I didn't smack that either. I missed it. So that's good. It just disappeared. And then other spiders came in its place. So there's lots of petite mortes around. And these ones are harmless. That one was an echo of the one that climbed on me, because it had fear around it. That was the echo. Fear around the spider, which I had never had before. But yeah, the community where I suspect there were cannibals. Um, well, um, they had a lot of spiders in their phone lines, and I just started to have sympathy for cannibals. I was just like thinking, oh gosh, these cannibals, they have to live with the threat of death around them because people don't like cannibals. And then I started thinking, well, maybe you can have a scientific study where you give people who have given their body to science for being eaten, like who don't mind to be eaten, maybe you can give them um, the ability to donate their body to science so that cannibals can have a little bit of human meat and get it legit. I thought of that the other day. Get it legit instead of like going after people. Because, yeah, I was told by some housemates at one point that there are people who eat Africans. Like it's easy to disappear people in the developing world. People are less bureaucratized, and so you don't have a tracking number on them, tracking them and their movements necessarily on the phone and on the documents and on the computer systems. You can't just track them as easily. And so, yeah, people in Africa are eaten, and we're on an 8 right now. We're on an 8. Cannibals, death cultists. Death cultists are out there. They exist, and they need something to eat that amplifies their death cult, and that is human flesh. It exists somewhere, I promise you, I am sure. And some of them are wealthy, and they like suffering. They like that we are suffering. Feeding Juneplum, feeling Juneplum get back the attachment I loaned from her in my heart. So here's another gnarly one. I was at the hospital and I saw my dog on one of the hospital beds. Like I didn't have my glasses on, and I saw my dog on one of the hospital beds, and she had on a face mask. Like no, not a face mask. She had on a, 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 a like a breathing mask to give oxygen, and that made me think that it's implying it's implying that my project, well, my the fruits of my labor were in dire need or were being sabotaged with psyops. Psyops. So that's another conspiracy theory. Because the hospital was not necessarily kind to me, I think they wanted to suppress my voice, like Ariel. The 8 takes Ariel's voice. The octopus. Ursula. 8. We're still on 8. But it's 8:55 right now, so we're transitioning out of 8. And 8 sounds like eat. What are you eating? Are you eating things with blood? Or are you eating things with sun? Because we all need sun to grow on this planet. Except for things in the deep dark sea. And even then they get sun because things from the top filter down and they eat that. So even then they get some sun, some way, somehow. We all need sun. We don't all need blood to eat. We don't all need to eat blood. All the things on the planet need sun. So feeling Juneplum get back the attachment I learned from her in my heart. I think of her as my soul dog. I think of her as myself. I think of her as the fruits of my labor, the fact that I care about nature and want to promote nature. Um, I think of her as my Daemon. I would say the word Daemon because that's how it's written in Philip Pullman's book, his Dark Materials. I turned his Dark Materials on its head because I think the ending is shaggy. I think the ending got shagged up. Enjoy that dancehall ASMR. I don't know, is it ASMR? No, it's just like background noise. Enjoy that dancehall background noise. um, so yeah, okay, lost that train of thought as well. Seeing with blurry eyes, Juneplum being hurt. Oh yeah, so I said that I basically it's like Vampire Academy. I think that's the one where you have the vampire latches on to a companion, but I also see her as my Daemon because the Philip Pullman novel. Here we go. Yeah, the Philip Pullman novel, his Dark Materials. If it's turned on its head, where you don't go to a war with God, but instead you have a civil conversation, um, then you can get somewhere. That's the flaw in the story. It ends with a war on God. God is mostly good just because he has flaws and claims to be perfect from the Bible doesn't mean that there's a need to go to war. And also sometimes we make excuses for the devil. We're like, oh, things aren't that bad. What would we call a devil? What would we really call a devil? It's not a slippery slope. Like there's so many things that are just neutral or not that important. There are some things that are very important. There are some things that are very important. And so when you talk about a devil, you're talking about something real. It's something that exists. It's an ideal, but people can make it so real in their heads that it actually has an effect on the world because they're reacting and the world is action and reaction. They're reacting and they're seeing the differences that exist. Hearing Sylvester being hurt. I heard Sylvester, our cat, being hurt. So a daemon is an animal companion that represents you and is part of your soul. When I had my first psychosis, I attached to my dog and I did it like Vampire Academy, where the vampire gets a bit of soul back from someone else, a companion. Mine was my dog. And when I saw her hurt, I felt like a section of my heart being taken out in that hospital. And I was just like, that's the attachment that we have that made us so tied to one another, that I wanted to adopt her as soon as I saw her. That connection got cut. I don't know if it's back as yet. I don't know if it's back. We still feel connected. She's still here. She's not hurt. But our cat Sylvester got run over by a car. And that made me so hurt because I was getting so close to him. I was getting so close to him. The less plastic I used, the clearer I could see. 3 hours. That's it. Yeah. So these are 2 asterisks. The less plastic I used, the clearer I could see. I could speak. Speak. That's what I wrote. Speak. But I also could see clearly. I think that's also a valid way to put it. I could see clearly. 3 hours. 3 hours I celebrated when I thought I saw that man. I saw that man and I celebrated for 3 hours. I was hugging the balcony. I was showing him that because he once said that he doesn't want to do all the work in bed. And so I literally was like kissing the wall to show him, baby, when we meet up, you will not have to worry about me being a limp doll like I usually am. Did I say dog? Oh shit. A limp doll. A limp doll. I'm not a dog. I just think that my dog is a demon for me. Daemon. Let's not call it a demon. But yeah, I think Phillip Pullman is a Satanist. But you can learn from Satanists. They have questions. And anyway, so yeah, how did I get here? Don't remember. Yeah, 3 hours. 3 hours I celebrated when I think I saw him. I saw him for a fraction of a second. I didn't want to go back and look to see if he had left or not. Because I was like, I saw him for a fraction of a second and he didn't come inside. 3 hours I celebrated. 3 hours. And then whole night vigil. Whole night vigil. That slam didn't sound so nice, by the way. That slam frightened me. And that's what I'm telling you. I'm very sensitive to sound right now. Like when things sound negative, when things sound positive, when things sound negative, when things sound positive, I'm very sensitive to sound. So that slam of the door just now did not feel positive. But yeah, a whole night vigil I held. A whole night vigil I held. Thinking about all the beautiful things I wanted to do with him. Had something to say about everything the whole time. Whole night vigil. Certainty, I say in large letters. That's another asterisk. Celebration ahead of time, another asterisk. So much doubt and mistrust. So much doubt and mistrust. Felt so confused and mistrustful of the love of my life. That's what I wrote, the love of my life. I've never felt something so incredible. I don't have, I don't care. That's all I'm going to say about it. I said who I hated. I said hate, blah, blah. Then I put down Lothar. And Lothar sounds like Rothar. Sounds like Rothar. And Rothar is Rothar is the villain in one of my stories, but he dies peacefully. Hint, hint, nobody talks straight. Have we set pon MOO? And what this refers to is a game I'm making where people are subdued by a signal, by a wavelength, by a signal. Just like I said, that the crickets are disrupted by a signal, and the signal makes us less aware of our place in the world. I said, Bjork called for me. She speak tongues. Her hive. So just like you have the beehive, I think that Bjork has her own hive. I think that there are many queen bees around. And you'll see what I mean by bees in a bit. My cousin, Shaquille, is on my YouTube. This is a suspicion I have. Asterisk, though. It's an asterisk. He's on my YouTube. He's been liking stuff with with the account, and recently published my playlist. This is Unconfirmed. The iPad when me give him don't break a brass. Him protect that shit. Oh, him protect that there. But tell me, lie, to protect himself. So that's a little conspiracy theory. But I think it's super copacetic. I think it's really sweet what he did. He was just trying to help me. So even if I have a suspicion that he's in my account, I think he's pretty good. The youth are great. Even if the youth that I think are following me are little rascals. Also, somebody just shouted, "Eat it, wayado," and it just like frightened me. I love Jamaicans. I'm scared of this island. Both can be true. I still not getting panic here. Well, I haven't gotten panic, but I do have anxiety and my chest is tight all the time because I'm caught between possibilities of coulds and maybes, like Treasure Trove, that song I wrote. I still not getting panic here. Well, that's not true. I've been waking up on the clock. At one point, Sylvester went out of the house without me knowing how he got out of the house. I don't think I let him out. I don't think my mom let him out. And he came back, and after that, he was weird. He was waking me up at 4:20 a couple times. And you know my relationship with 420. I believe it's Hitler's number, as well as the weed number. because I think Hitler had a hive of his own. Because, I mean, leaders smoke weed, don't they? And if they have their own special strain and it's filled with all kind of evil shit, what kind of psychosis are they going through? Shared psychosis of how the world is. Anyway, so yeah, I was getting panic. I was waking up at 4:20 on the dot in the mornings and feeling like stuff is happening around me. Should I be on alert? My heart just jumping all the time. Heart just jumping all the time. I've been having that over and over. My heart just jumps all the time. And I have been saying to everybody, oh, I don't get really panic in Jamaica, which is so weird. I don't get anxiety in Jamaica. I haven't had a panic attack. I haven't had a panic attack. But right now, no music sounds good to me. Nothing sounds good to me. Nothing sounds good to me, music-wise. Taxis act as compression blankets. Taxis act as compression blankets. Oh yeah, so in these taxis that we have here, we can sit. We usually sit 4 on the back seat, and sometimes even 2 on the front seat. And on the buses, it's the same. It's like 5 on the row, and it's like basically very easy to look into what is happening there. Your nerves are getting cushioned. It's like a stress relief blanket made of human people, and you get a vibration of what's happening around the island. I've been on this kick where I'm like, maybe everybody has something valid to offer. Maybe everyone has something valid to offer. Maybe not. But I I just I want to believe that everybody has something valid to offer. I had no friends, no phone number, no one to love. That's a grievance. The tobacco was probably poisoned. That's a suspicion. The garbage people come pun time, but the man at the gate try shout me, and it was not safe. So in that moment, I saw somebody come to my gate, and I thought, holy shit, this is somebody trying to reverse baron me. I'm the Dune girl, and he has a capsule in his mouth, and he's trying to spray me with, I don't know what, COVID or some new kind of chemical weapon, trying to spray me. So I stayed at a distance because I got a warning and a heart shock, like a fucking Morty on a wall. A heart shock. A heart shock. I got a heart shock. Got a heart shock. So yeah, I said that the tobacco was probably poisoned because I went around thinking people were poisoning me as punishment for not being on the same wavelength of the entire telepathic community, and they were trying to get rid of me because I was fucking up their progress or whatever. And I accepted it. I was like, okay, you want to poison me? Maybe I can accept that if it's just a little bit of poison. And then I started rationalizing for them. I was like, yeah, maybe it's homeopathic. Homeopathic. So it's a little bit of poison and then you get immune. Maybe it's for my own good, but they're just doing it really mean. And maybe it's because people, here's a suspicion I have. I suspect that um, the person who I wanted to come to show up for me did come. What last time I was here, and there were all these clues, and I couldn't pick up. There were all these clues, and I couldn't pick up, and I would like make excuses that, oh, my family wants me to do this, my family wants me to do that, I should do what my family said, when my family will stop having all this say over my life if I actually get myself together. If I go to this thing, just go to this thing, just try, go to that thing, explore, see what is happening, see what is happening, see what is happening. And I can't see clear. At this moment, I have a lot of questions that need answering, and I intend on getting answers so that I can have my mental peace back. I don't want all these questions. Okay, I'm still not getting. Oh, that's easy to see. Okay, I'm still not getting panic here. That's not true. I get short panic. It's not sustained panic. Taxis act as compression blankets, so they reduce the stress because you're compressed and bounced and kind of like vibrated back into a good position. I had no friends, no phone numbers, no one, no love. The tobacco, the tobacco, oh, the tobacco was probably poisoned. So I had that suspicion as well, like maybe somebody wants me dead. The garbage people come pun time, pun time, pun time. But yeah, the Baron move, and the reverse Baron move. My mom is the best person I know. I wrote that down. I was delirious at Champion. There's a supermarket called Champion, and this was the time I thought I was getting poisoned little by little, and or attacked little by little by sound. And I got delirious while I was in that shop. I wasn't eating properly, of course. I was on medication mix up and whatever, of course. But I was delirious, and I was just like, where is this coming from? I don't feel good right now. I feel unsafe. I'm very worried. What's happening? Is there a revolution happening on this island or not? And is it a good revolution? I wrote, the bitch at the hospital inject me. I have no rights. I have no rights. I got injected against my will. Mind and body have separation. Strapping down and subduing a body is permissible. I don't think strapping down a body is permissible. Like I said, you should do compression hugs. Two burly people on each side compression hug you. They suppress your system. They squeeze you tight. They squeeze you tight. And they compress your nervous system. And then third person, and then, I mean, if somebody's like trying to bite you, you have a different thing. If somebody's trying to bite you, trying to fight you, but if somebody's just wild like this, you can compression hug them. Why not try to de-escalate rather than escalate? Strapping down and subduing a body is permissible. So no to strapping down, but subduing a body. Because I got strapped down. I got strapped down. My left foot and my right hand were strapped. And somebody came in to the hospital and told my nurse, strap. I didn't know who this person was. They didn't look like they worked there. They were like saying, yeah, and tied on this foot. Injecting into a body to subdue a mind subdues who I am against my will. If I trust you, you may inject me. If I refuse, subdue my body, that is fine, until it is found that I am cooperative. Give me what? Give me what? Medication to take. Do not put something in my body that I do not agree to. You are violating my body, my mind, my personhood, my being, my identity, mental castration, bodily violation, human rights. Rights in Jamaica are being rewritten. Deal with this. Deal with it. And then I have the rules for my shadow card game. And I'm starting to wonder how important it is to incorporate shadows. And as I said, shadow, I saw something creepy over my shoulder, so I looked around. But I didn't get a heart jump, so it was fine. Got a little bit of a tense brain there looking up at that shadow. So things that bring me peace. Solving a problem, telling a good story, making a perfect metaphor, beautiful sunset, my potential, future success and celebrity, music, my beauty, Juneplum, the fact that everything heals with time, all if the seeds are ugly. You can always move, you are not a stone. Company or alone can work, but I want company. I said I was despairing at that point because I kept thinking my friends are here for me. My friends are here for me. They're nearby. They're nearby. Why can't I meet them? Why can't I meet them? They're here. They're here. Why can't I see them? And it's because we felt it wasn't safe. And we were scared because we are ourselves. We don't like to lie. But this place wants you to hide who you are and conform and be something that you are not. But I also have this thought in my head that maybe, just maybe, there's a whole different dynamic at play. And maybe the hatred of gayness is not really hatred of gayness. Maybe people actually just put you through a hard time if you're gay because they know that you're going to have a harder time in the world, and they try to toughen you up because the world's going to eat you alive. Because they make it a crime. They make it a crime. That's what I think about. Is that what we do here? Do we cultivate soldiers? Do we say, you're gay? I saw that when you were a kid, and I tried to get rid of it so that you wouldn't have a hard time in life? Or if you are going to be gay, you're going to be somebody who proves that you are good in other ways so that nobody thinks that you're a demon. So the Radiohead in Rainbows on 14/12/23 lined up perfectly. I just skipped the bad vibes. It was magical. It was on a 6 p.m. stream, and 6 is the witching hour for me. 6 is the witching hour because you're having your sunset and you're transitioning, and 6 is a choice. How do you handle chaos? It lined up perfectly in Rainbows in the Basement. Radiohead in the Basement, live performance in Rainbows. And I just skipped Don't Get Any Big Ideas. It's not gonna happen. That song, I skipped that one because I didn't want to have that fucking up my vibe. It lined up perfectly. It made this whole picture come together of what we really are in, what kind of world we can have, what kind of world people have prepared, what kind of world people have prepared to fight against the systems of oppression and death and cult mentality. In my story to Hive and to hold. The altar Hive, the ones who worship blindly rather than worshiping with open eyes. They are the enemy, and they should be dealt with by addressing them with reason and class, because they understand class. But you can do class your way, because what they think of as classy is not always classy. There's other ways of being classy. Being a class act. Being someone who doesn't take advantage. That's classy. It's a class act. I'm not sure if I completed that thought, but there we go. Yeah, it lined up perfectly, and I felt magical. I felt magical. But it could be that I have stuff on the phone that just makes me think it's lined up. Because I remember playing Cheater Scrabble with some housemates, and Cheater Scrabble is a game I made up where you basically use the tiles to make made up words, and the best interpretation, well, no, you have to stand up to scrutiny. The definition has to stand up to scrutiny, and it's really fun with a good group of people. It can also be a psychological evaluation or a test or a vibe check with people who are kind of like low vibrational. But anyway, I played that game, and my team, we had a very synchronous number for what we did for our final score. And then I double checked it, and actually the number was off. So all this synchronous stuff that I think I'm doing, maybe the clock is wrong. What about that? Maybe the clock is wrong. And I'm just being sabotaged by both of my phones because they're both shitty. What if that's the case? What do I do then? But that's not the impression I had. The Radiohead In Rainbows lined up perfectly. That was the witching hour. Oh, I can't. Oh no, Rihanna. I can't. Hopefully, you're not hearing that too much because that's a copyright violation. So here's something. I was very angry at this moment. I said, Aurora, the singer, who I named myself after. I named myself Aurora Willow after Aurora, the singer, and Willow Smith, as well as the Aurora Borealis and the willow tree, because I find both those things very romantic and beautiful and dreamy. And then I watched a video of Aurora doing a live performance. I think it was for KEXP. I'm not sure, but it was in Iceland. And she had 2 wine bottle styrofoams around her arm. And when she took them off, well, she took one off of her left arm. She said that her left arm was her weaker arm. And then she said that she wanted to, later on, she said that she might want to rest her mic because on the stand because her arm is getting a little bit tired. But I think she said that I'll just switch the mic to my superior hand or something like that. I'm not sure. She said that her right hand was a superior hand. But the way that she said it, I was just like, this sounds like what somebody who interprets the body politic would say if they were racist. So I wrote down, because I was very angry, and I didn't know where to direct it because I wasn't sure if it was her, if I was betrayed, or not. But she has this video about blood, and she has these women like cover her face with blood, and she likes doing face paint with like red on her face. She gives me a strange vibe. At first I was very enchanted, but something was off because she was like, oh, I don't listen to music. I just make it. And so then when I went into games, I said, "Oh, I don't really play games. I make games." That was the attitude I went in with. That's what I took from her. And um, then she just got this. I got this weird vibe about this girl. Um, and so I said, Aurora is a fucking racist, parading as a good nature loving singer. And that's how I feel about some people in the rainbow community. That's how I feel about some people in the rainbow community. Fucking racists parading as good nature loving people. Yeah. There was a guy at the rainbow gathering. He kept on saying how I looked like an indigenous person and all these things. She's probably a low vibrational mimic, I said. Somebody with a low vibrational energy, racist, for example, a racist person is also low vibrational because they have hate fueling them. And if you're a mimic, you can mimic a lot of things, including positive vibrations, even if you're a negative person. And that's an exaggerated way of saying that somebody who is hateful can still make sounds that sound like lovingness if they have the ability to mimic. And I said that I am a high vibrational mimic. She is my foil. So I put my foil on number 1. And Willow was number 2, who I see as a mirror. That's something I aspire towards, to be like Willow Smith, somebody who has a relationship with her family, somebody who uh, has a deep love of music and creativity, somebody who um, expresses their polyamorousness like I do, somebody who um, somebody who is gay and open, there's so many things, somebody who's into St. Vincent's guitar. St. Vincent made this guitar special for women to accommodate breasts, because guitars did not accommodate breasts, because they thought that women were not meant for instruments, because musicians were supposed to be people who could go around at night, and that's men. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, it's funny. They're playing Maria Maria, and my guitar is called Maria. That's funny. Okay. Okay. Another bathroom visit, and then we take this thing inside. Oh, This is funny, being on camera. I piss on you. You see, if I was fed piss, which I stopped believing, but if that was the case, and there was this whole thing about piss, then I would get my revenge by pissing on camera and proving to the world proving to the world I know. Yeah, one last smoke before we go inside. Yeah. So, what have we learned so far? The mind is powerful. The battery is on 2%. Whoa. The mind is powerful. Battery is on 2%. What I'm going to do, I don't want to go inside before 10. Oh, this is tense. I might lose all of this. Can I tell it to automatically save? Now I'm tense. Wondering if this thing will stay on because I want to stay out. Listen. Oh, I'll get the charger. 1 second. Well, you can come with me. The power bank. Let's see if there's anything on it. Sorry about this. Your time is valuable to me. Oh, it's not even charging. Oh, I think to be safe, I have to end this earlier. Oh no. Okay, let's put it on charge for like 5 seconds. Okay. Yeah, so I'll put it on there for like a minute or two, and then go back out and then come back in at 10. Yeah, this is super unprofessional, but this is like a little break. I think, like I said, it's 2 minutes, so you can go to the bathroom. You can come back. Let's see how much charge I've got now. Oh, I don't know. Let's go back outside though. Now it's just time for some chill rolling before we go into our next activity. That was not a positive sound. That's a positive sound. Shocked my system. Heart shocks. I don't like that. Heart shocks. I don't like that. Yeah, I've been imagining that, or feeling like, not even imagining. This is how it feels. It feels like it's like Groundhog Day. Keep trying to get it right. And the thing is that getting it right is getting it too rigid and conservative. Getting it good. Making sure that it feels good. Making sure that it feels good. I want company. I want to get away from where I am right now. I hate this house. I hate this house. I don't mind the community. The community is fine, except for the scary noises that make my heart jump. Make my heart jump. Nerves. I hate this house, how it feels. I want to be with my friends. I want to be with my lovers. I'd love to be in an ashram style living situation just to try it out. I think I would love it. I think it would be good. And now I feel like he's there at the bar, and that song was playing because he's there waiting for me. That's how I feel. I feel like he's there waiting for me, and there's alarms going off because I'm not going to him. And now I feel like the alarm stopped because I acknowledged it. The June plum tree had leaves on it. The fruit are still there, but the leaves are gone. Why? Virgin M1, give me a minute. It's okay, it's okay. 10 o'clock. Inside we get. I don't want to celebrate 11/11 alone. I don't want to celebrate 11/11 alone. I really don't want to celebrate it alone. How do we get together? So I have a thing against fluorescent light. I prefer natural light. I think I was thinking clearer with the natural light. Even if it was psychosomatic, it was working. The fluorescent light, I don't know. And the buzzing of the fridge. So I think, methinks, music time. I'm going to play Anthropology 101. Anthropology 101. Oh, that sounded like no one. I don't want no one. Well, I would take nobody. I am nobody. Okay. Anthropology 101. No, it won't play. Why not? People are helping me realize this thing. People are helping me realize this thing. There was a boom just now. I felt it in my chest. So I'm adding someone from the community to my phone because it's on the other phone, but it's not on this phone. Sorry about this interruption. You can go to the restroom, roll up some new stuff, get some more supplies. I don't know how long they allow these things to record for, so I'm actually just gonna, well, I don't know. Let me look it up. How long can a save stream be on OnlyFans? How do I solve this problem? I don't know how long it's going to be. It's probably going to be about 4 hours and something. And I don't know if it's going to save. Oh no. The left side of my brain just tensed at that thought. The left side of my brain is tensing at that thought. I feel like we're doing the thing where in my story, I have a story that I wrote ages ago called The Slender Grass, and people linked their minds to save the islands from being shut down. The islands were shut down. The islands were shut down by disease. The islands were shut down by disease, like COVID. Like COVID. I hate this noise in the head. We're gonna go back outside as soon as possible. Okay. I'm eating bread from plastic and butter from plastic. I hate it. I hate it. I sacrificed the beauty of the numbers by giving in to cravings. In the series Raised by Wolves, the android woman is pregnant from a simulated environment that told her that her maker had put something in her for her to birth. And what she birthed was a snake, and the snake was a vegetarian. And the snake saved a tree that was alive. We have to be careful with using bodies to decompose under trees, because then eventually you wonder if, like, how harsh is it if somebody chops it down? I think we should all be able to adopt a tree, especially when flying. We all should be able to adopt a tree, just like pay and adopt a tree anywhere in the world. They put your name on it, or your social media at. There is somebody who I was supposed to go on live with, but wasn't able to. Now I'm wondering what I should do. Should I end the live stream and message him? I'm trying to call him. Okay, so what to do? I have to call this guy, I think. I think that's what we agreed on. I have to call him, but his number is on this phone. So let's try to go really quick. And it's back. Okay, let's go really. Poor network connection. Okay, back. Whew, did it. I feel so much better now. I'm gonna download TikTok. My brain is kind of vibrating. It says I have no space on this app. I have to delete something. I'm gonna uninstall Bumble for now. I don't want to Bumble. I want to be sure. Okay. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Okay, to download TikTok. TikTok feels like a threat. It feels like a doomsday clock. Said it can install TikTok. Made some more room. So let's see if TikTok can come in. Just yeah, this is a lull in between. We're building up to 11:11. 411. I'm gonna go back outside as soon as possible. At 11:11, I'm gonna go back outside. We're gonna have a nice time. Okay, let's see. Do I have TikTok? Okay, guess what? I will do this pose when we're ready to go again. So you can like skip forward to the point in the video where I go like this. Okay, it's installed. No, it's installing. Maybe I have to download, maybe I have to delete something again. World Packers. I think I'm gonna uninstall that. Yeah, I don't like Work Exchange so much. I like, I mean, it's fine, but I didn't have that great experiences all the time. But it can be good if you have less like pressure to do it and you get to do it for fun. Oh, now I need to scratch it. Yeah, I need to scratch. I think people should just have money. Yeah, I think people should just have money. Oh, I didn't do this. Looks like a pyramid, doesn't it? Pyramid song. Yeah, I feel a bit dried up. I'm not hyped. So now I just had a really fucked up thought. I can't wait to talk to people about this because this one is a big one to chew on. I can't install TikTok on this phone. Oh well. Raw vegan Christmas meals. Cauliflower fried rice. Cauliflower tabbouleh. Coleslaw with lemon juice. Dijon mustard and olive oil. Tomato butter beans salad. Avocado hummus and crudité. Guacamole and crudité. Mango salad, if mangoes. There were none. Tomato tuna raw vegan poke bowl. Peanut in shell snack. Salad, lettuce, tomato, black beans, corn, pear or avocado. French dressing. Fruit salad, no melon. Black bean and tomato sauce and pepper with cauliflower rice. I can't tell how much battery percentage I have. But let's go out for now. 10%. Wind feels like a kiss. Feels like a kiss. It's happening again. Feels like a kiss. Okay. Planet as a body. Humors, body, blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. Body, blood spring, liver, yellow bile. Summer, gallbladder. black bile, autumn, spleen, phlegm, winter, brain, lungs. And now I'm gonna try and scrounge up some fucking tobacco. But I'm gonna get some music. Real quick. Real quick. I can install TikTok. TikTok might be threatening though, but it's not a bad threat that I'm making. I'm saying that people should go to prison, but the right people, and this time, yeah, right is what I mean, right people. The right people should go to prison, but it's a good prison. It's a rehabilitation prison instead of a death prison. Rehabilitation prison, far away, away, away. Okay, music time. That hurt. That honk felt like a no. That honk feels like a no too. Okay. Water is the blood of the planet. Water is the blood of the planet's lifeblood. And it feeds us and births us over and over. That's what I said before. I'm saying it again. I say it 2 times. Clay is the earth's fat. The gallbladder breaks down fats with bile. Okay, now I'm scrounging together a cigarette. What the hell is that noise? What was that noise? I'm going inside if that's the noise. What's that noise? What was that noise? I feel like I messed something up. I always feel like I'm messing things up. And the wind is greeting me. The wind is greeting me. And now I sound unhinged because I don't know the full story. So the way to unravel this is to have consultation with the people who your mind runs on, just to talk to them and share. I don't want any fluorescent light. I want natural light. So I should stay in the natural light. That was a scary sound just now. I don't know what happened. And the music's done playing. I feel like I should go inside. I don't like that sound. I didn't like that sound at all. I didn't like that sound at all. Unsound. Now I feel anxious. And I don't like being out at nighttime in this anxiety. Okay. I think it's time to go inside and start drinking then. I don't want to celebrate one-on-one alone. Yeah, my friend is just saying that they heard about it. I said I don't want to celebrate. I don't want to celebrate one-on-one alone. And I said, please don't let me celebrate it alone. I just heard a terrible sound. I don't even know if this will save. I don't even know if this will save. I don't even know if this will save. Oh, I'm so upset. I feel it's been horrible. It's been horrible. It's been horrible. It's been horrible fighting for love, fighting for life, fighting for liberty, fighting for peace. It's been horrible. I've been in so much pain. I've been in so much pain. I've been in so much pain. And everything feels like a mystery. Everything feels like a mystery. I don't like it. I feel like I'm in a cage and they just want me to squawk. They want me to sing. They want me to squawk. I keep on thinking I'm too vulnerable. Okay, let's put on some dancehall music.
Pussy so catchy, fingers by a big clip. One finger in because two can add a flip. Bubble on the tip, come my breed and me a dip tip. She said no use, no pussy salad, she make risky. Okay, are the best, yes, that can make you express. Kiss up on your neck, must I eat it by your breast. Can you bless us, but touch yourself. I'm no pussy in a test. Body up for all our time. Deep inside, boom tight. I know I'm a type. Fuck you a crime. First in the head. Feel the time for you. Time for you. Time for you. Time for you. She fucked up my shirt, tell it to take it on it. But I go like sweat. Get a man.
I'm not finding anything cool. Ugh, music isn't doing it. Okay, let's go to SoundCloud. I feel like I'm in a maze. I feel like I'm in a maze and I can't get out because it's so odd. It's so odd. I saw the planet as a single thing, kind of like an Avatar, that movie, not the kids show, even though kids show is also relevant. I saw it like the movie where we plug into the earth with the use of the plant, and some people use it for good and some people use it for bad. I don't want to celebrate 11/11 alone. Are people getting their identities taken from OnlyFans? Or are people afraid of OnlyFans? Or are people... I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What was that sound? And will this record? I think it's best if I close this at 11 and restart at 11:11. Otherwise, I'll just be worried. I don't know if it's gonna save. Okay, gonna have Shadowrun. Nearly passed out there. Belched up a ghost of a thought.